Hello, everyone, and welcome to another community conversation on the health crisis in
of personnel.
That's a great
Another
question,
element
and I would
is
direct them to
We're
get
thinking
a
outside the box, trying to come up with new ways
And
of
as you
moving.
already mentioned, the city is
Let's try to keep these numbers from doubling.
It's really important. I'm glad I hope you're watching at home.
First, I want to say thank you for inviting me to the show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another community communication here on Facebook Live. I'm Mayor Eric Pappenfuss. It's Friday at noon, and we are glad to have you with us once again. Today, we are going to talk about how a number of different community organizations are providing services during this holiday season. We've got 5 incredible guests here, which I'll introduce in just a moment. And we know that there are other examples of folks that are doing a lot for the community this holiday season, and we'd encourage you, as we have this conversation, to let us know about some of those organizations. Leave your comments in the comment section. Help us connect and get the word out about what they're doing. But as I say, we're going to spotlight 5 organizations here today. I do want to begin, however, with the sobering news. As many of you know, the governor yesterday had to reimpose restrictions on businesses and gatherings in not only in the city but throughout the Commonwealth due to the continued spike in coronavirus cases. And I want to begin, as we have been for these past several months, Momen, by putting up our graph here in the city, which is based on the wastewater analysis that we do at the sewage treatment plant, which measures the prevalence of the coronavirus in right here in our regional metropolitan area. And there you see the terrifying graph, which has us spiking to entirely new levels, even worse than where we were last week. Off the charts, really, far beyond what we experienced even earlier in the year. Now, again, this is a measurement of the actual science and the data that we're finding in the wastewater plants. Moment, I don't know if you have any of the other graphs this week, but the other graphs show Harrisburg in comparison to other metropolitan areas, and I'll just tell you what they say, which is that we have a higher concentration here in our community than 98% of all the other samples that are collected throughout the country, which puts us, in terms of normalized virus concentrations, really, really off the charts and as bad as anywhere in America. The estimate is 460 new cases a day of coronavirus being spread in Harrisburg. That's a 0.36% incident rate. It's the highest we've seen, and it really is sobering news. So while I know that people tend to be upset with the governor and upset with others, we really have to focus on the virus. And it is the virus which has unfortunately moved to new levels. And we've got to take these types of common sense precautions. I was speaking to the manager of the Broad Street Market just before the show, and they're going to be open, but they're going to go to 50% capacity. You may have to wait outside before you can go in. They've been enforcing masks and distancing, and they're only going to allow 50 people in the building at one time. And to me, that's sensible. I know that many businesses are struggling. That's one of the reasons we've been trying to promote a variety of grant programs. As you know, we've had 2 different rounds of a neighborhood stabilization grant program. The most recent one you can read about at harrisburgregionalchamber.org. And it's oversubscribed because there's so many businesses that are looking for help paying the rent and their utilities and just trying to survive and make it through this winter. But we've been putting a lot of resources towards it, and we have to continue to make the safe and correct choices as a community. So I hope people will consider not traveling this holiday season. I hope they'll limit the size of their gatherings. I hope we'll continue to wear masks, and I hope we'll continue to shop local and support our local businesses, which are still able to do takeout and some sales online. It's really, really important. We will make it through this, and we're going to have a brighter spring and summer, but this is going to be a tough winter, and we all need to just buckle down and not blame one another, but rather focus on what we need to do. Yes, Moment.
Mayor, I just want to remind the public that we have our website, harrisburgpa.gov/coronavirus, so they can find those graphs there as well as other information and resources.
Yeah, I'll put in a plug for that as well. It's very helpful. We've started adding these the new BioBot data. The graphs are helpful because that's a sample date from December 7th. So we're just a couple days post the sample date, and it tends to be predictive rather than representing what's already there. When you're measuring the wastewater, what we're generally starting to see is a spread, and you can measure people that are asymptomatic, that don't know they have the virus. So it's a much better means of determining the prevalence of the virus than, say, just relying on testing data, because that's a more limited sample size. Noman's done a good job putting all this information up on that page. We'll continue to push that link out. And I just wanted to start with that. We spent over the past week, I'd say almost 12 hours, Moment, gathered together discussing the budget.
I think so.
It was quite a marathon of sessions. A lot of great community engagement, which is good to see. I was speaking to a group of high schoolers this morning, and they were asking about if we thought there was any positive lessons that have come out of this pandemic. And one thing is definitely the level of civic engagement that we're seeing in our city and elsewhere. I think people, last year I gave the stat that we had 3 nights of budget hearings, and we probably had 2 or 3 public comments. And this year we've had 200 to 300 public comments. So I think that means that we're living in a time when people are more engaged than ever, and we can together, work to reflect that in the policies that we put forth for this city, and I do think that that's a positive. I want to let folks know about 2 important pieces of policy and programs that are being launched right now in the city of Harrisburg, because while a lot of the focus was on policing, much of the comment was, what are we going to do about rental relief and evictions in the city? And we've actually been planning for some time programs for both of those things. So on Monday, City Council is voting on a bold new piece of legislation, an ordinance that will be a moratorium on evictions in the city of Harrisburg. This is needed because of the lapse both in the state and the federal level. Up to this point, everyone had been in sync in stopping evictions. We had our own moratorium, but the others have expired, so now we are going to be doing it ourselves. That legislation will pass and go into effect immediately on Monday, and I encourage people to read the bill, which is up on the website, participate in the meeting on Monday, and understand what it means. But it means nobody can be evicted in the city of Harrisburg, and it should stop all court proceedings and be a really strong piece of legislation. It's going to be controversial, and I know people on both sides of this, are frustrated, but I think it's the right thing to do. So that's coming up Monday. We also announced, and this is important for residents to know, a rental relief program with some of our federal dollars, our community development block grant dollars. And that program is open right now, and it is available to city residents who are having trouble and need assistance with paying the rent or their mortgage or their utility bills. Applicants, they have to be income eligible, so they have to meet certain federal guidelines, but you can receive up to $5,000 as a grant to pay those bills. That's available right now. The applications are available at harrisburgpa.gov/Office of Building and Housing. You can put that link up as well. We need you to, we want you to apply, but because we know there's so much demand, it's going to be a relatively short window. That application period is going to end on December 22nd. And then we want to get that money out the doors here for the holiday season. So please apply. If you know somebody who's having trouble paying the bills, and there's so many, they should apply and take advantage of the rental relief program. Rental relief will also help benefit landlords and others who are going to say, well, if I can't evict, how can I pay my bills? Well, this helps everyone because it puts money in the pockets of people who need the relief paying the bills, and then that money will also go to those that are collecting the bills. We, the city, will pay the bills directly, and that's how that program works. So more on the business programs at harrisburgregionalchamber.org. That's our partner there, and then more on the community development block grant rental relief programs at harrisburgpa.gov/Office of Building and Housing. So a lot going on in the city, many important things, but we wanted to spotlight a little bit some of the community services and some of the positive stories for this holiday season. There's so many organizations in the city that are doing things that are there, that are helping people during this time of pandemic. And it seemed appropriate to spotlight some. So I want to begin with the Salvation Army. And we've got the Harrisburg Capital City Region Director of Resource Development, and that's Ms. Kathy Anderson-Martin. Kathy, thank you for being back. I know we talked earlier in the year about some of the things, but specifically our focus right now is on holiday assistance programs. And I'm wondering if you could just give us a brief overview of some of the things the Salvation Army is doing this time of year.
Well, thank you very much for having me, and we appreciate being part of this. We actually, as I sit here, we are in round 1 of 4 of Christmas distributions. So I'll be jumping off of the call early because I have to go back out to my assigned spot. We are doing our Christmas distribution curbside here at our Service and Worship Center. And till it's all said and done, we'll probably serve about 4,000 local children, 1,500 families with Christmas presents for the kids, a protein voucher for meat, depending on what the person can store and cook within their living environment. And then we also provided about 2,500 gift bags to seniors, and most of those were seniors in senior living communities in Harrisburg, some nursing homes and so forth, with some activity books and practical things like lip balm and hand lotion and so forth, because that's a group that oftentimes, they're even more isolated now than normal. So we are in full gear with our holiday assistance programs.
Oh, that's wonderful. And it's so hard with everybody isolated and many people at home and not actually able to get out and engage. So if somebody's watching this and finding out now for the first time about a senior, for instance, finding out about this program, how do they take advantage of this opportunity?
The best thing they can do is call our office at 717-233-6755 and ask about what's still available, times and dates. We had instituted a waiting list with families and seniors to get on that list just because we wanted to make sure we had enough resources to fulfill the needs. That's looking pretty good. So I'd encourage folks to call. Good. And as we can help, we will certainly do so and make every effort. And like I say, we're doing a number of distributions more so this year than in the past, just because of the working outside and the drive-through.
Yeah, and how about the presence and the opportunity to take advantage of that? Again, you recommend people call, or are there standard times when the drive-through is up and running?
Well, we have certain distribution days, so they have to be on the list and have to be assigned a code, because we then take the information about the family, the children, and so forth, pack the boxes. And so today's, as I mentioned, distribution day 1. Next Wednesday is number 2, the second one. And so we will help with needs as much as we can. We can't guarantee everyone will get on the list, but we are donations have come in great. It was really scary a few weeks ago, and we put out some pleas, and the community responded greatly. So we've been very, very blessed by folks who've purchased toys and dropped things off. So we're doing pretty good.
That is great to hear. So let's talk about that for a minute. So although donations are coming in and we are able to meet the need at this time, I'm sure that there are many people that would be interested in helping sustain that and give to the Salvation Army. So what is the best way for people to participate?
We're still accepting new toys and clothing items, and I mentioned new only because we do try to provide the children with brand new items at Christmas. They can drop those off at our Service and Worship Center Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30, and unwrapped. And we will then distribute those as we can. We pack boxes and have lots of volunteers. If someone's interested in volunteering, we're in need of folks to help pack the boxes, and we post all of those opportunities at timetosignup.com/Salvation Army HBG. We also have bell ringing opportunities up there because that's been a bigger challenge. So there are a lot of different ways that people can get involved.
Oh, that's great. And one of the nice things about your beautiful and just wonderful location is it's easily accessible. It does have that area to sort of drive right up, and you've got lots of space to unpack. Are there any particular toy recommendations or needs that you would give people if they want to get something and bring something over to you?
We have a list, but I always tell people if your kids or grandkids like it, that's probably the kind of items that families are requesting here. Legos, we can never have too many Legos, and sports equipment. You could probably do Legos and basketballs, and we'd be totally set. But just those typical basic things, no expensive gaming systems. We don't want that. Scooters are great. We've been encouraging this year things that get the kids out and active because of them, again, that isolation, being home, that they have those opportunities for play.
Wonderful, wonderful. And are there other services which you're offering out of the facility, maybe not specifically holiday related, but that you want to highlight?
Oh my, yeah. We never shut down through the pandemic. And one thing we ramped up considerably is food assistance. We've been doing food assistance through a curbside drive-through. Just in the past 30 weeks or so of COVID response, we provided food for over 600,000 meals. All of last year, the food pantry did about 250,000. And again, if folks need that service, we've relaxed some of the rules. We're working with the Central Pennsylvania Food Bank. They just need to call our office. We do it by appointment just to keep it manageable. And again, it's drive-through, contactless. We have a school age program. So we have kids in the building now all day, every day, because the schools aren't back in session, there are still folks that don't have childcare options and need to work. So we have that program, and openings come available as we are able to, given space requirements and so forth. And then our self-sufficiency programs, workforce development, everything's in full gear and has been.
It is wonderful, and so appreciate all the many programs that you're doing and how it's impacting people's lives. Can you talk a little bit about how you feel the pandemic is affecting folks, and not just in terms of your operations, but just in terms of the need that you're seeing currently? I mentioned that the increased food assistance that we provided, to give you an idea of the people that we've seen, the families, we've seen over 1,800 households who never came to us for help before. And a lot of those folks, as you were talking in the beginning, with businesses closing, and right now, like that, when I was here the first few weeks of the pandemic, when we were in total lockdown, we saw a lot of folks that said, I was a server in a restaurant. I worked here in retail or whatever, and they were in our food line. And so we expect that to continue because there are folks that are affected and their employment's affected. I'm sure there'll be an uptick coming with some of the new changes. Wow, 1,800 is a staggering number. And that's just new volume, and
that's just brand new.
Yeah,
yep.
Yeah, that's difficult to hear, but I certainly appreciated that you're there. I want to thank you so much for your efforts. Is there anything else you'd like to let the public know?
I'd just like to thank the city, the county, the state, and all of our donors who made this building possible. We moved in here last September, and we could never have done what we're doing just in food. We're doing 21 rescue stops a week. We were doing 10, and that's because we have this facility, a loading dock. And thank you to the community and the city and so many who made this possible.
That's great. Yeah, I was also pleased to hear that your old building has some interest from developers for new housing options for city residents. So that's exciting too. But just the accessibility of the new location, the added space and capacity is extraordinary. We're very fortunate that that was all done in advance of this pandemic. It's
Thank you.
Obviously helping. Thank you.
Thank
All right.
you.
Yeah, we're going to turn, and I know you have to leave, but if there are any questions for the Salvation Army, we'll try and get them answered.
Thank
But we're going to go to Corporal Josh Hammer, who's joining us from our community policing team. Hi. Hey, sir. I don't know if you're over at the substation or where you are, but it's good to see you. And thanks for being here. I wanted to talk about some of the community program that our police bureau is doing this holiday season.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor, for having me on. I am currently in our new Hill CP, and we're really enjoying being up here, a little bit closer to the community. Yeah, we're really excited during this pandemic, obviously, that we can try to shed some sort of bright light, and we understand that everybody's going through a difficult time. We always done this No Shave November. As you can see, most of our officers are usually cleanly shaven. This time of year, some of us are sporting beards. We are raising money for a Coats for Kids initiative that we're really, really excited about. And we're accepting donations for coats, scarves, hats, starting now, December 7th through March 1st.
Okay, that's great. So how do individuals contribute, and where do they drop them off? And how does it work?
Yes, thanks, Mayor. Right now, we're accepting donations to coats at our police lobby at 123 Walnut Street. We're also accepting at 313 South 15th Street, where I'm at now at our new Hill CP location. It's convenient. You can just drop off the coats in our boxes, and we'll be handing them out throughout the city. Like I said, our officers throughout the Bureau, we've donated close to $3,000 for this initiative that came out of our pockets for this great event to try to get some of these kids that don't have coats. Yesterday, in normal patrol, I saw a kid yesterday walking around without a coat on. And I know where my first stop is as soon as we get some more of the donations and they're all in. I'll be stopping at his house.
That's great. And I encourage people to drop by the new substation to check it out. And we have a new office manager there, and a continual presence. So that is one of the drop-off stations. Do you have a goal for and how long is this campaign going to last in terms of collecting?
Yes, we do have a goal. We're trying to get 500 coats.
Mm-hmm.
And with the support that we've gotten, and we're so excited to see the response from the community, people dropping off coats already. We have no doubt that we're going to hit that goal. We're probably going to go over, which is better for everybody. And this will continue until March 1st. We also recognize that it is part of the Christmas season, but after that, January, February, March, when it's still cold out, we're still hoping that kids obviously are going to have a need for the coats. And again, this is just an ongoing effort to build positive relations with the community and our police.
Yeah, that's great. And there's been a lot of talk and discussion about some of the community policing initiatives that we have proposed in the new budget. And council will be taking that up again on Monday. But one of the hopes was to increase the number of civilian community service aides who would be able to work with your division. You are a uniformed police officer, you're a community police officer, but to have added civilian support and capacity, I think would go a long way to really being able to make the connections with the various neighborhood groups and organizations. You want to just talk to that a little bit about what you're looking forward to possibly being able to do in the new year if this budget does get passed?
Oh, absolutely. We're really excited about the opportunities. This is something new. We're really excited that we're hoping that some of the people in the community are going to have a bigger voice, a larger voice within our police department. So for people that are interested, that want to help and be part of the solution, we encourage that. And that's what we're really looking forward to, engaging more with the community and giving them a larger voice.
Yeah, and hopefully some of our community service aides will work right beside you there at the substation. And I want to thank you for joining us from there. One last question about the Coats for Kids. So can people also make a financial contribution, or are you actually focused on just getting supplies, coats, scarves, gloves?
Yes, right now we're just focused on the supplies. But if anybody wants to donate and they want more information on it, we're never going to turn anybody away from coats or any kind of supplies that's going to help the community. Feel free to reach out to myself, Jay Hammer at harrisburgpa.gov, or Mr. Blake Lynch, who has been great with this. I mean, he's been spearheading this, and his email address is balynch@harrisburgpa.gov. So any kind of questions from the community, if they want to know how to get involved, if they need help getting the supplies here, please reach out to myself or Blake. We would be more than happy to make those arrangements.
That's great. Same thing if they have questions about community policing or how to potentially get involved or apply for one of these new positions once council passes the budget. So thanks for joining us, Corporal. Appreciate it.
Mayor, thank you for your time.
Yeah, we're going to move next to Ms. Ann Gwennon, who is the Executive Director for Downtown Daily Bread. Ann, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Let's just start with a very basically, just tell us a little bit about Downtown Daily Bread and your mission and what you do.
All right. Downtown Daily Bread is a soup kitchen and shelter and service provider that's located right in the heart of Harrisburg. We're right across from the Capitol. And we serve the many homeless people who are on the streets and living in various encampments and other places around the city. We are a place where people can come in for shelter. They can come in to eat, and they can come in to do basic things such as get their mail, take a shower, and pick up supplies. We also have some case managers who help connect people with services, and people can do things like charge their phones and get other help. So our mission is basically very, very basic services.
So it's so important, and it's a question I get asked a lot, which is, what are we doing for the homeless? And one of the reasons we feel so strongly about the eviction moratorium is the last thing we want to do is to put additional people on the street, especially as we're approaching winter and harsher temperatures and everything else that's coming. Can you talk a little bit about some of the efforts and services that are unique to the holiday season?
Not much unique. Things are pretty steady now. We've seen a little uptick here in the last month. We opened our night shelter for men, which is open from December through March. And so we've been having about 20 men come in the last couple weeks for the evening. So that is something new, and that will last through March. Right now, we are the only day shelter in the community where people can come in. We're open from 7 a.m. to noon, and we are the only night shelter for men at this point, although there are discussions to open up another site.
Yeah, and I know there's Christian Churches United and other organizations are working hard to make sure that we have enough capacity, enough beds for whatever uptick we might see this winter.
Right.
Can you talk a little bit about how you've personally seen the impact of the pandemic and COVID-19 on the communities you serve?
Yes. When it hit in March, the one service that we did not stop for the entire time was our meals. We serve breakfast and lunch every day, and we have not missed a day since then. We had to rearrange some of our other services since folks get their mail. That was critical that we continue that service. But we did close our day shelter until the summer months, and then we reopened. We're struggling now with how many we can have in because we're at capacity most days about an hour into our day. And, we're struggling to keep both the people who are coming in safe as well as our staff. And so we have purchased quite a bit of protective equipment and screens. We have extra cleaning help. We have some air purifiers, and we're doing everything that we possibly can, both in our dining room and our shelter. But with the governor's new mandates, I just don't know what we're going to do. And if we have to close, I just don't know where these folks are going to go.
Yeah, it's difficult, and it must be particularly challenging to operate a shelter and house people in the midst of a pandemic. I know that one of the things that as a community we've been trying to do is provide individual hotel rooms and other less group settings in response to the pandemic. But it is going to be a challenge as we move forward. But what you do is so important. If people are watching this and they want to help, they want to make a contribution, what's the best way to get in touch with you and to help Downtown Daily Bread?
Right. The best way is to go to our website, which is downtowndailybread.org. And on there will be information about how you can help us with in-kind donations and also financially. We have a link to that you can either use a credit card or send in a check. We also have a wish list on Amazon if you want to check that out. And so we have, very basic things at this time of year include coats and scarves, I guess, same for everyone, hand warmers, flashlights, and other things. So just going back to one of your comments about putting people in hotels. A lot of our folks are kind of, they're down in these encampments, and we're even finding that some of them are not willing to move around right now, not willing to move around the city. So we have tried some outreach services into those encampments, but these aren't folks who are going to quickly pack up whatever belongings they have down in those places and move to a hotel. That's just not that's not how they think or how that's going to work. So I just don't know. I'll need some advice from someone to figure out how, especially with our soup kitchen, if indoor dining is closed, how do we possibly serve people? For a while we did takeouts and to-go containers, but that's very difficult to do when it's this cold.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you got to take the services to them, and the challenge of the weather and things getting colder is going to be very real. I'm intrigued by the wish list on Amazon concept. That's a great idea to get you actual supplies to distribute. I'm trying. It sounds like a great gift this holiday season. So how do people access that list? Do they go to your website?
They go to Amazon. The Amazon wish list. They just go to Amazon and search for Downtown Daily Bread.
Okay, Downtown Daily
Bread. A wish list will come up. But our website has a lot of information. So again, that's downtowndailybread.org.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for your efforts. It's so important. I appreciate all that you do, and thanks for coming on and talking to us today. We're going to go next to Mr. Ralph Rodriguez, founder and head of All You Can, which is an incredibly important organization in our community here in Harrisburg and Central PA. Ralph, thanks for joining us. Do you want to talk a little bit about the mission of your organization?
Yes, Mayor, thank you for having me on the show. Thank you to the city and Moment, everyone on the show. Happy holidays. Yes, as you were saying, All You Can Inc. is a nonprofit here based in Harrisburg that services Dauphin County greater area, and we provide basic emergency resources to at-risk families in the area. We do that two ways, and that's community around the year, Christmas, Easter, your traditional events. But then we also have emergency dispatching systems, and that's 24 hours a day. And we're dispatching, slightly used furniture, 25-pound food boxes.
We're having a bit of an internet connection issue on Ralph's end there.
Sure.
Ralph, you were kind of breaking up, Ralph. I think your internet might be low, or your Wi-Fi.
Can you see me?
Yeah, it's working well now. If you want to just repeat that last point for us.
Yeah, so I was just expressing on how all you can services the basic needs and emergency resources through the county. And that's through community events and also our emergency dispatch system.
Yeah. So, we're just buffering, so there's a little bit of a delay, but we'll work through this. So let's talk specifically about this holiday season. What is All You Can doing, and what needs are you seeing in the community, and how are you trying to address them?
So our can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
All right. So our holiday events, it consists of start collecting around August and soliciting. And that goes with our annual coat drive, our annual Give Thanks Thanksgiving dinner initiative. And of course, we're on our 8th annual All You Can holiday donation drive. The coat drive, we were able to distribute 500 coats and 4,000 pounds of garments to the at-risk community here in Harrisburg. And just the other week, we had our Give Thanks annual Thanksgiving event, which we were able to distribute 300 hot meals to the community, which went to about 1,500 pounds of food. And for our Christmas event, we're just finished up registering about 616 children. We had to cap off. But of course, as everyone knows, the need is so dire this year. The calls are still coming in definitely. So that will consist of our holiday traditional year, the final 3 months of the year, which would be the last quarter consisted of. And things really ramp up. So those would be the main initiatives we have during the holidays.
Oh, that's great. Over 600 kids. So, what are you seeing this holiday season? Are you seeing an increased need, and how are you trying to fill the gap that's needed to be filled here in Harrisburg?
Well, this year alone, COVID-19, as everyone knows, has really played a role negatively and positively on just depending on how you look at it in our community. All You Can is an organization that was out there from the beginning of the pandemic. We never shut down. We never stopped distributing. We had partnerships with both the city, the Harrisburg Police Department, the school district. So it never really stopped. What we're seeing is, of course, the food needs are ramping up greater than ever. The needs for the essential and basics, food, clothing, rent vouchers, bus passes, a lot of individuals we do case management for, just for employment. People we see that are highly qualified, some great degrees in their life and they worked hard to get them, are having trouble finding employment in their respected fields. So we're getting a lot of those calls coming in now. And with a lot of our great sponsors here in the area, we're able to connect those individuals and get them at least part-time employment through this pandemic.
Wow, no, you're doing a lot. You're doing great work, and it's incredibly appreciated. If people are watching and they want to, potentially help support All You Can, how does one do that?
I think your shot's frozen.
All right. Well, maybe we've lost route, but we'll come back, and that's an important question for sure. Let's go on to Kevin. Oh wait, no, Ralph, are you back? Oh, we lost you for a minute. I mean, sorry about the internet connection, but we make it work every week here on our community conversations. That's right, live. So we were trying to say, if people are watching and they want to support your organization, how do they do that?
Yeah, so you can go to our website, www.allyoucanpa.org/donate. That's a way to make in-kind and monetary donations. As many items and resources that come in will ensure it goes back out. We just want to ensure we have enough for the registered families first. And I'm pretty sure we'll be delivering up until Christmas Eve, until we shut down for the holiday, just for the families to get a little time to recoup. So definitely, or they can call the resource number at 717-602-6936 for any volunteer opportunities or how to get involved more with All You Can.
Oh, that's great. I want to, in addition to thanking your organizations and highlighting the good work that you're doing, I know how much you're reliant on sponsors and partners. So would you like to, mention or talk a little bit about some of the sponsors that have stepped up to help you do what you do?
Yeah, that's not a problem. This year, we had DTLR Sneaker Villa, longtime supporter and sponsor of All You Can, Be a Man Inc., Texas Roadhouse, Step Up. We had the Outbacking Union Deposit. Definitely a great connection and received some great sponsorship from Boost Mobile. And not to mention just our normal supporters and people that really are into what All You Can does and provides. So we were able to manage and make it through the holiday season, but that's the show, and I just need to echo it. It's very important that the support and resources funnel it in, because we as organizations can only do and give really what comes in. So I highly encourage anyone watching, support any of these organizations or any of the ones in the city that's really fighting the good fight for the community and for Harrisburg City.
Yeah, I think it's all the more important that we see that these businesses, some, a Sneaker Villa or a Texas Roadhouse, these are restaurants and retail are really being hard hit by this pandemic, and yet they're finding the time to step up and continue to give to others, and that's great to see. And it's another reason why we're trying to support our small business community through shop local initiatives, through dining out, and really trying to highlight them, because we need them. They by supporting organizations like yours, they're giving back to the community every day. And if we lose some, and estimates are as high as we might lose as high as 20% or 25% of all the small businesses in the area through this pandemic, it's gonna be a void that's going to be very difficult to fill. So we need to thank them, recognize them, but also continue to support them and continue to support you and your work. Do you have a particular highlight for 2020 you want to share for All You Can? Something that you're particularly proud of?
Honestly, I got to go back into our March Against Social Injustice that we had here in the city of Harrisburg. Mayor, you were able to attend, as well as our governor and the police commissioner, for the first time ever in Pennsylvania, if not the nation's history. And we were able to march and actually have a protest to reform. So it wasn't really just out of anger. We actually got some great work done and received the proclamation and the governor's citation for the outstanding work that we've been doing here throughout the COVID-19. So I really appreciate that. And we have a holiday every June 3rd to celebrate that day.
Yeah, that was a great moment of coming together and listening. And I've tried hard in this budget to reflect a lot of what I've heard from the community. I know that some some may still disagree or feel that other things are necessary, but I think the civic engagement and activism has led to a vibrant and important and vital conversation, and that's a great thing. And certainly that rally was at the heart of it. To have our governor walking through the streets of the city with all of us was really important. So thank you, sir. And we're gonna end here with Kevin Maxon. Kevin, your organization is called Voices for the Voiceless. It's incredibly important, and you guys are focusing on something that's called December to Remember.
Yes.
What is December to Remember?
Well, December to Remember is an event in which we try to provide services for our youth. We try to provide them with toys, snacks, hot cocoa, eggnog, and things of that nature. It's just a friendly reminder that they won't be counted out. They are acknowledged, and we appreciate them because they are our legacy. We want to provide the best support we can as community leaders, as parents in this community.
Okay, well, when is the event? Where is it going to be?
So the event starts December 14th through the 18th. It's going to be at 1524 Walnut Street in Harrisburg. That's the old community center. It's reopened, so we're going to use that space so we can give out some toys and snacks and goodies to the kids. It's just, I don't know, it's an honor to be able to be of service to the community. So my organization is a lot of women, a lot of mothers, and a lot of these ideals and a lot of the things we try to do in the community they come directly from the women associated with my organization. And we just do everything we can to try to support those in need.
Oh, it's incredible what you do, and your supporters are really actively and engaged, and that's great. I think we need events like December to Remember, especially this holiday season. And so if people are watching this, what do you still need in terms of donations? How can people make donations, and who do they contact?
Okay, you can contact Ann Wilson, and her phone number is 717-557-3688. Or you can make drop-offs of new toys and items at the 420 Stilton Legion, in Stilton off of 19th Street over there by UPS. And you can contact Lisa Iskrick for that. You just make a call. If you need us to come pick up the items, we'll pick them up. Or like I said, you can drop them off at the Stilton Legion. And some of the things we are collecting are newly unwrapped toys, books, blankets, kids' clothing items, gift cards, games, puzzles, hats, and gloves, and things of that nature. We're also collecting toiletry items and cosmetic items because we plan to give away stocking stuffers to some of the homeless people. We're going to go around and contact them and hand them like stocking stuffers as well. So it just don't stop at the community center. We're going to do things from the 14th to the 18th. We're going to try to give them 4 to 5 days of blessings through our organization and through the support of local leaders and organizations that support our efforts.
Great. We'll get the word out for that. And if people want to take advantage of the event, do they have to register, or is it just stopping by the old neighborhood center on Walnut?
Yeah, you could just stop by the neighborhood center on Walnut. If you don't have transportation, we can actually bring items to you. I mean, we trying to do whatever we can to help people. And I know a lot of people don't want to come out because of COVID and things of that nature. So we're following all the COVID protocols. And if you come to the community center, you will see that we have stations set up. You walk through, everything's packaged. You get your snacks, you get your beverages, you get your toys, and you go out on another exit. So we won't have a lot of interaction between families coming in and out of the facility. Or, like I said, if we get the calls, we get the messages via Facebook at Voices for the Voices, or you contact Ann Wilson on her phone number 717-557-3688. We'll set up a date and time to try to bring things to them families as needed.
Yeah. So Voices for the Voiceless, you're involved in a lot of different causes and advocacy here in Harrisburg. Do you want to reflect a little bit, maybe as Ralph did, on what you think have been the most significant things that you've seen over the course of 2020 in terms of maybe civic engagement?
To me, the most important thing I've been saying the community working as a village and working together. I know there's different organizations and different people out here doing things in leadership roles, but we all are pursuing the same agenda. We all desire change and want a better way of life for our community. And the way that a lot of people have been organizing and working together and doing different things in different portions of the city, it all serves the same purpose, to save one demographic and to help our community. And I'm just proud to see so much unity, so much solidarity. And that's coming from the law enforcement side, and that's coming from the community side. It's just a beautiful thing to watch, that much engagement.
I think so. And I think that's the spirit or the message of today's show, which is that while there is a lot of need and we are in the midst of a pandemic, there's also an awful lot of people working hard every day to try and help and make a difference. And while it seems like everyone is doing similar things, it's because the need is so great, and no one organization or person can meet that need, and we have to have this multifaceted approach. So thank you, Kevin, for telling us a little bit more about December to Remember. I hope we make this all a December to Remember. And Moment, at the start of the show, I sent out a challenge to people. I'll reiterate it here as well, which is that we know this is just a small sampling of many different organizations that are doing amazing things this holiday season. And we want to know about what others are doing too. So feel free to leave comments here and help us spread the word. But I'm going to hand it over to you because perhaps there are some comments or questions for our guests.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. First question is for Anne. Regarding donations, is there one particular item that is needed the most?
And I would say the things that we give out, and not just in the wintertime, but men's underwear, men's socks, and at this time of year, coats. Those would be the things. Also, personal hygiene products, because people come in for showers. So if you have those little hotel soaps or shampoos and that sort of thing, that's very helpful.
Can we open that up to the other guests as well? Because I think it's an interesting question. Ralph or Kevin, are there specific needs that you're seeing that would specific donation requests that you might have?
Yes, like Miss Anna just said, the toiletries, the cosmetics, and things of that nature. A lot of those things are hard to come by. That's why we made it very important with our stocking stuffers that we have toothbrushes, deodorants, and all those different things. And we have a lot of that. Oh, you going, Ralph? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Kev. I didn't mean to cut you off.
The screen did something weird. It had some little box popped up. I know what's going on. All right,
it's my fault. I should have directed it more clearly. Go ahead, Ralph. Tell us what you're seeing as the
I was gonna say nothing specific. Really,
okay.
The way the urgency is this year. Just your typical Barbie dolls, cars, stocking stuffers, whatever would put a smile on that child's face. As stated on here, if it's something your child would like or grandchild would like, 9 out of 10 times, the children in the community will love it.
That's great.
All right. Yeah, great. Thanks for that great information. Next question is for Corporal Hammer. For the coats drive, are you accepting both used and new coats?
That's a good question.
Yeah, thanks, Momin. For this year, we're concentrating with COVID in mind, just the new coats.
I think that's true for all the toys and gifts as well. We're encouraging new, not secondhand. I won't speak for everyone. There are other means of donating things, but for these drives, I think new.
And that's all the questions we have, but I do want to remind everyone, harrisburgpa.gov/coronavirus was the website mentioned earlier. Some of the other websites mentioned, downtowndailybread.org, allyoucanpa.org. You can reach Anne for Voices for the Voiceless, 717-557-3688 as well.
Okay. Well, again, I want to thank all the guests for being on the show today. I'm encouraged. On the one hand, we're having to hunker down, and the virus is really at its peak, and we're having to see new restrictions, and there are new challenges as we move into the winter and the colder months. On the other hand, it's the holiday season. People are reaching out and trying to help like never before, and there's a community spirit here in Harrisburg and the region that folks want to make a difference and want to try and help, and that is inspiring, and that's what the holiday season can bring out in people. Really, the best message of giving and compassion for our fellow residents. So thank you all for what you do. Thank you all for watching at home. We're going to be back next week with some sort of reflections on the year, and we look forward to seeing you then. We hope you'll tune in to Harrisburg City Council for the budget vote and final conversations on Monday. And until next Friday at noon on Facebook Live, I'm Mayor Eric Pappenfuss, wishing you a very safe, healthy, and happy holiday season.